Hey yo, I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again with another G.I. Joe action figure review. Today we're taking a look at a item from the Valor vs. Venom line. This is the Venomization Chamber with Venomous Maximus. Pretty cool little box set here we got here. This came out in 2004 if I remember correctly. Again, it's part of the Valor vs. Venom line. Comes in this nice kind of boxed window set thing here. So you can kind of see everything that's going on in the set here on the shelf as it used to be. Has a nice little special offer for the Storm Shadow Unmasked figure. Nice little pack-in bonus here that a mail-away exclusive that you can't redeem anymore, but we may look at that figure here at some time in the future because it's kind of cool. Anyways, it comes with the traditional Valor vs. Venom packaging here. Again, nice box art here. Clear top. Sides are pretty much clear also. And then the back of it has some just general stuff going on here. It's got the light activation things, all this cool stuff. And on the bottom, we actually get the file card for Venomous Maximus, along with some battle points and stuff like that. So, pretty cool looking set here. It does have a cool feature built into the packaging here, this whole try me thing. There's a little switch right here inside the actual Venomization Chamber. It's got a little figure of Hulk in there, if you can see that from here or not. Anyways, you push this little thing down. Makes lights and sounds and stuff like that. So it's kind of cool. The battery's a little weak on this, so I'll try to get a closer sound here when we get it unboxed here so you can kind of hear that going on. But it's kind of a cool feature. The little pod swivels around and you're supposed to place the Venomous Maximus figure on one side and it swirls around to essentially transform Hulk into that Venomous Maximus figure, which is cool. Anyways, let's go ahead and get this thing open. This packaging here has always been kind of crazy from the Valor vs. Venom line. They did a much better job packaging in the 25th anniversary line, so you have to bear with me for a little while. We've got some tape in a couple of places. Side. Flip it over to the other side. We got some more tape. And this piece right here. Then on the back we also have some more tape. And I think that should do it, so we'll pop that thing off there. Then we've got some more tape here holding these flaps on, so let's go ahead and slice that tape off. Then in theory this entire window box thing will just slide out more or less. Well, actually the entire box here slides out, so that's cool. Inside we've got a little insert here for the actual instructions. We'll look at that here in a second. Beyond that is just packaging. And again, your file card, if you're needing to keep that, go ahead and cut that out and save that. Then the actual thing itself, we've got some more tape here up the front. So we'll go ahead and just cut that tape off. Pull that off, and now that can be just tossed away. Cool. Now we get to the actual Venom Chamber itself. We've got some of these twist ties on here. So I'm going to use my wire cutters on this real quick, simply because I don't want to have to deal with the untwisting these things. Then these little black plastic tabs will just pop off. And we'll toss those in the trash. Then, in theory, this thing will just lift out. So let's see here how well that actually works. This piece will now fold down. It was just held in there with this little plastic piece. Then you can just kind of pull these plastic things off. That piece come loose. Get rid of that. And this thing's kind of twisted around and fed through this little hosey thing. And there we go. And all that's trash now. And now this thing will lift off. So that's cool. Then we still have the actual figure itself on this bubble here. So we're going to go ahead and cut the bubble off as well and get to the figure. And a couple of you have pointed out that I'm terrible about how I'm using these things for cutters, so I'm going to try to do it the right way and cut away from me this time. See if that makes y'all a little bit happier. Don't have to worry so much about me hurting myself, so always follow proper safety protocols and whatnot. For me, it's kind of hard to direct this stupid thing that way, so that's why I don't do it. I usually prefer to cut towards me, but that's me. And I'm going to do it again right here. There we go. So there is the figure, and he comes with this cool staff here. So this now becomes recycling material or whatever. So we got the cool figure here, the instruction sheet, and the actual Venomization Chamber. So this chamber itself just kind of pops off, and you'll notice that there is actually this plastic wrapping over top of this. So I'm also just going to cut that off and just pull that little plastic thing off. It's supposed to keep it from scuffing up and keep it from opening, so that does open like that. So there's that. We'll toss that away now. Inside the actual Venom chamber itself, we've got another twist tie holding the figure in there. So we're going to go back to our wire cutters and snip that off real quick. And then pull that completely out. And there we go. We've got the complete Venomization Chamber. So let's take a look at the instruction sheet here first. Basically what it says is put one figure in one side and one figure on the other side. It is double-sided. It shows you how to pull the batteries out and replace them as well. It does take 2 AA's, so be noting of that. Basically it just says open chamber, place figures in chamber, attach staff, move lever to activate sounds, light, and spinning chamber. So not a whole lot going on for instructions, but still cool. So let's see, where do we want to start here? Let's just take a look at this thing itself. Let's see, flip it up here on the side. It does have these removable crystal thingies, I don't know, vials, conductors, whatever you want to call them. There's actually 2 of them in here. It looks like only one is really removable. The other one doesn't want to come out, so no. You just got to pull really hard on that. So you can fill this stuff with liquid or something like that if you wanted to make it a little bit more realistic. That would be pretty cool. This other one just kind of sits in here. It's kind of loose, but it's fine. Over on the side we have this cool command station. got some nice little decals here. Your figure should stand here, facing the controls. And then it says to insert the staff here, like so. I don't know if there's really a good way to get it in there or not. I think you just kind of stick it in there, so we're just going to stick that in there. And it just kind of loosely sits there, like so, and then your figure can grab it and use it as a lever to pull it forward and engage it. So it's a cool staff. I think we actually caught a updated version of this one in one of the Cobra Commander figures in the 25th anniversary line. But it's still kind of a cool staff. If we can get the light here. It's a nice little accessory. It's got this nice green glowy globe at the top, and kind of shaped like a snake. So it's pretty nice, pretty cool. Try to do this without moving anything around. So your activation lever is right here on the front. It's got a nice little decal here showing you press it this way. And do it again, and it switches all the way around there. So that's kind of cool. Then this actual tube here itself opens up like we said before, and you've got access to the actual figure itself in here. So we're going to go ahead and just grab the figure and pull it out. As you'll note here, it's kind of a half figure, molded only on the front half, so it's not really an extra figure, but it is kind of bendable, so you know you can do some cool stuff with it. It's got a single foot peg there on the bottom, and if you'll look at the very bottom of this thing, I don't know how well our light will behave, but there is a foot peg down on each side of this chamber, so you can put any figure you want to in here. Just so happens that this one comes with it, so we'll stick him back in here if I can find that foot peg. Something like that. Then your other figure will stick on the other side of the chamber there. Lock it up. Then activate it. And it transforms. That is pretty cool. Once it's done, you just kind of pop that canister open and pull the figure out. So yeah, kind of cool. We'll pull that thing out too here. So inside the actual, let's pull this thing off for a second here. Inside of the actual chamber itself, you've got this nice little LED thing here that kind of glows red. Flashes and all, so that's kind of a cool thing. Doesn't take a lot of power, luckily, so you can do it as many times as you want to. Then just stick your figure back in there. And this actual canister thing here is actually pretty cool by itself. It unfortunately only has the top half. There's no bottom half because it's meant to fit on here like so. And it does a pretty good job of that, but it does look cool by itself, so you can use this as some kind of escape pod or anything else in your adventure times. The figure, other figures can kind of stand on this pedestal as we had mentioned. Like so. And it works pretty well. So there is the actual Venomization Chamber. It's a pretty cool little thing. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Venomous Maximus figure here. And I'm going to zoom in here so we can get a better look at the figure. Get the light over here a little bit better. So the figure itself is pretty interesting actually. It's made out of this really cool translucent green plastic here. It's got some nice detail work. Again, this is from the Valor versus Venom line, so it's not quite up to par with the 25th anniversary line, which you'll notice pretty easily. But it's a cool version of this Venomous Maximus here anyways. Articulation wise, the head does spin 360 degrees. It pops off like so because it's on just this real weird ball joint here. And he does have up and down motion, and if you can see that, he does have eyes painted on, so, and he's got little fangs too, so it's kind of a cool looking thing. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joint. Standard ball and swivel at the elbow joint, and no other articulation on the arms. Same thing for the other side. It's kind of standard for that particular era of figures, so, you know, not all that surprising. They did do some weird stuff with some of these joints here. They're not quite the translucent joints everywhere. I guess that's just the way they had to make it. Does have a regular O-ring here, so plenty of waist twist here. Has a standard T-hook at the waist, so plenty of motion there in the waist area. Single knee joints, which again is pretty standard for that particular era, and no ankle articulation or anything like that. So overall, it's really a pretty good figure, to be honest with you. I actually like this thing quite a bit. The little arm here is kind of that oversized weird thing that goes way too far, but it works in context to this particular character. He's kind of just now formed and isn't quite solid yet, so he's able to kind of stretch a little bit and be more monstrous, although in later parts when he actually, I guess, solidified a little bit more, that arm ended up staying a little bit bigger anyways, which has always been weird to me. But anyways, nice detail work all the way around on his armor here. Looks really nice. Nice little paint jobs on the side here for little kind of stripy things here, snake stripes or something like that. So all in all, pretty interesting. And if you'll notice here, as far as comparing it with the General Hulk figure, part of this is supposed to be that it's essentially the same base here. So the pants are supposed to be kind of the same, and it kind of, this metal kind of fuses and turns into the armor and things like that. So it's a little bit of a stretch, but it works pretty well for what it is. The figure itself is pretty silly looking. He doesn't look very happy, that's for sure, but that's okay. And then we can take this cool staff here and stick it in his hand, and he can run around and threaten people with it and bash stuff with it. So all in all, a pretty cool looking figure. Just for the sake of argument here, I do have our 25th anniversary Beachhead figure, so size comparison time here. Figure is a little bit shorter than standard 25th anniversary releases, which is to be expected. It's, again, 2004 versus 2008, so quite a bit of difference here. But the cool thing is that you can take the actual figure, throw this thing away. These figures actually do still work in here, so you can place a 25th anniversary figure in here. Throw this cover back on there, and you still have plenty of room. So this is completely compatible with 25th anniversary and up. No problems whatsoever. The foot pegs are too big, so you can't use them that way. But the figures do fit, so you can always kind of incorporate this into it. And other than the slight size variation between Venomous Maximus and the 25th anniversary releases, it still works pretty good, taking into context the fact that it's that Valor versus Venom line. So it's a pretty cool little set here, to be honest with you. I'm actually a little bit more impressed with it than I thought I was going to be. I like the Venomous Maximus figure in the nice translucent green color. The Venom Chamber itself is pretty cool in concept. Kind of nice to have this kind of weird transformation chamber here that you can play around with and kind of build dioramas around and things like that. So it's not that hard to come by, to be honest with you, nowadays. Again, it was 2004 when this thing came out, so that's really not all that surprising. There's still quite a few of these things out. I don't guess they were all that popular, so price-wise, it shouldn't be too steep to get one of these in really good condition. I think I ended up paying around 25 to 30 bucks for this thing, which is a little bit higher than I probably would have liked, but it's still cool and a nice kind of price range for a set like this. So take that for what it's worth. If you like it, then it's probably worth picking up. If you aren't really into the Valor versus Venom line, then you probably don't really care whatsoever about it. So that's cool too. I'm gonna take my microphone off for a second here and hold it up here, see if we can get some good sounds out of this thing. That wasn't too bad. That's pretty cool. So that's all the time we've got for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below to let us know what you think of the Valor vs. Venom Venomization Chamber with Venomous Maximus and General Hawk. That's a little side note there. It's not really a General Hawk, but that's okay. Anyways, let us know what you think of this thing. If you've picked one up, you know, did you like it? Cool concept and all that stuff, but leave some comments anyways. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Give us a thumbs up, share it with your friends, make us famous. If you'd like to see anything in future episodes, drop a comment down below and let us know, and I'll try my best to get around to it. And until next time, Yo Joe.